Today we're going to take a ride up to Jacksonville, sit down with Derrick Wulf. Derrick Wulf is a Part 91 pilot and the aircraft operations manager for Kings Bay Universal Services. We're going to sit down and chat with him what makes up aircraft management and how he's going to be a huge value add to the Vet Adventures family. Derrick, how are you, man?
Good.
Good. Well, thanks for having us here. I take great privilege in it, being that I'm a veteran, you're a fellow veteran as well. So I love connecting in that regard. But where are we? Who are you? Who do you work for, and what do you do?
Sure. We're here in Hangar 18, Jacksonville International Airport. I am the Director of Operations for Kings Bay Universal Services.
Yes, sir.
So we are a aviation management company. We take care of about a half a dozen business jets for about a dozen owners.
Awesome.
And it's all private operations.
Gotcha. How did you end up here? Let's start there. What led you to the position you're in, and then also being an operator of these aircraft as well?
Well, I mean, the immediate past was one of my buddies is a part owner in one of our citations.
Yeah.
And for a while, we first met about 3 years ago, actually at flight safety, going through training together. And he kept telling me how I needed to meet his guy, Steve. Steve Swanson's his name, and Steve's my boss right now. Mike was telling me how, if I could help Steve out, that'd be great. Steve has been running this business for 15 plus years, has been a lifelong pilot himself. And so at the time I was flying charter. So I was working for one of the larger charter operations in the country. And after about a year or so, I finally decided to talk to Steve, and he and I got to know his business a little bit better.
Yeah.
And now I run all the operations, so I take care of the scheduling, the planning, the crewing of the planes.
Yep.
I help whenever we are looking at buying or selling a plane for an owner.
Yep.
I'm also in charge of keeping the planes clean. Anything not related to maintenance.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have our own maintenance technician that takes care of that, and then Steve also operates as the director of maintenance.
Awesome.
For all of our planes.
Okay. So if there was somebody getting into jet ownership, what is it that the value that y'all provide, and what exactly is the management side of the house? You did hit on it, but kind of dive a little deeper in what value does that bring to a jet owner?
Yeah, so the biggest value that we bring in is our expertise, our experience in the industry.
Yep.
Like I said, Steve's been in the industry for 40 plus years. Okay. I've been in the industry for over 20 years. Yep. Together, we have covered just about every aspect of aviation, one way or another. Helicopters, jets, props, military, commercial, charter, you name it. So that's the biggest thing that we bring is our expertise in what it takes to actually own, a plane.
Yes.
So, and then we'll sit down with a prospective owner and really try to dive into why that person wants a plane.
Yep. And
not only why they want to own it, but how they think they're going to use it.
Yep, absolutely.
And then from there we can help with budgeting and figuring out what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And then we keep the plane operational. And so whenever any one of our owners says, hey, I want to go on a trip, everything else is taken care of.
Yep.
And that's what we bring.
Absolutely. So with that, most private owners, I would say some of them like to keep it on Part 91. Is that solely what you focus on, or do some of your aircraft that y'all oversee operate on 135 certificates as well?
So we're a little unique in the fact that we do not, we're solely Part 91, so private operation. No charter. There's pros and cons to both, but ultimately for our owners, it's more beneficial that they just operate under Part 91, which basically means that a company is not going to rent or borrow their plane from them and make a profit off of it. Yep. There are some nuances to it, but we can lease the planes out. And there's some gray area, and that's where our expertise comes in. Absolutely. Is understanding where you're not getting into any illegal operations.
Correct. Are you limited to specific airframes?
Oh, yeah.
And or what airframes do you have in the fleet, or obviously what your expertise being the Challenger series, but I'll let you elaborate on that.
Yeah, so we've got 7 planes total currently. Out of those 7, we have 2 Challengers, 2 Challenger 300s. We have a Cessna Citation, 3 Astras, which are G100s, yeah. And then we have an older Beechjet still.
Okay.
We prefer to focus on the Astras and the Challengers.
Yep.
And but we've had Beechjets, we've had Challenger 650s under management before. Yep. I'm not limited, and neither are we as a company limited by what we manage. We have our preferences,
yeah.
But we do solely manage jets.
Okay.
So no turboprops and nothing smaller.
Okay.
Either. Yeah.
Are you limited geographically? Obviously, we have a hangar here, and y'all manage the aircraft that are in this hangar.
Right.
But are you limited geographically?
Not limited geographically. No, I've got an owner down in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I've got another one out in Destin.
Awesome.
It's easier,
of course,
for the owners that are in the South, and it's obviously easier for me if they're local. But I will meet, the owners wherever they're at. I mean, that's part of our service, is taking care of them and their needs, not my needs.
Absolutely.
We've had, we fly all over the U.S. We've flown all the way down to Argentina, up to, Alaska and Canada. We'll even fly, internationally,
yeah,
if that's where the owners want to go. And I mean, that's what I do. It's service oriented.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I care about.
And bringing value to an organization for sure.
Yeah.
With it, since you hit on it, ideally you specialize in the Challenger 300. What is it about that aircraft that you like so much?
She's a sweet spot. I've tried not to be biased.
Yeah.
But I love the Challenger 300 because she is the Goldilocks of aircraft, and not in a bad way. The Challenger is comfortable.
Yep.
Big cabin, very comfortable seating for the passengers and for the owners. Pilots love her. She's performs well. She's a great short field aircraft, which means that we basically consider a field being 5,000 feet or shorter, a short field. Now that's, less than a mile. That's, you'd think, oh, that's plenty of room to land on. Not when you're going 140 knots, on landing.
Yep.
And a lot of jets, even smaller jets, are not good short field performers.
Absolutely.
But the Challenger is. She can go coast to coast. We can fly up to 45,000 feet, carrying 10 people, and really get our owners anywhere that they want to go.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's why I love the 300 better than the newer models, because they are well established.
Yeah.
And that's another factor, is the Bombardier, the manufacturer of the Challengers, they still service this model.
Correct.
You start getting into older planes, the manufacturers aren't so willing to, keep parts on the shelves.
Support it for sure.
Which is it's a concern of mine. If a plane gets too old, parts availability becomes an issue, maintenance availability, and even pilots.
Yeah,
trained pilots is an issue.
Being here in Florida, where there are a bunch of private jets, what sets you apart from on the management side of the house?
I would say, first of all, it's a good question. There are a lot of managers and a lot of management companies out there. There's some large ones, and then there's some that only manage 1 or 2 planes.
Correct.
And I'm not going to give the platitudes of experience or customer service, but to me, I think what really sets us apart is how much we really care.
Of course.
Steve, my boss, built this company from the ground up. He loves getting into every little detail of every aircraft that we manage.
Yep.
And I love, the other side of that is I love spending time with our owners.
Yeah.
I love getting to know the personalities. I love getting to know what matters to them.
Yeah.
And I love matching a plane to them.
Correct.
There are a lot of planes out there. There are a lot of owners, and not every plane is perfect for every owner.
That's correct. Yep.
And I've seen some bad matchups, and it's like a bad marriage. Like you can just see it.
Yeah, you'll limp it along for a while, but it's not going to last.
Yeah, and you can tell. I mean, even if they're your friends or whatever, you're like, you just know when to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Right.
No, for sure.
And we care. It's I hate to just say it that simply, but to me that's what matters.
I'd say this day and age that might be lost on some people, and in business in general. Some people just see the dollar signs and transactions, and it's a very transactional service.
Yeah.
Where I think what you've described and what you've hit on, you'll travel to folks. You're here. You had to take a call for an owner in the middle that we took a break for. Like those things say a lot about somebody operating a business versus I'll call them back. And clicking off and call them in 30 minutes.
Little story I have is one of our owners, his wife had not seen the plane. He had owned the plane for 4 months.
Yep.
She had yet to be on the plane.
Yep.
And we had a trip. It was a trip that mattered to her. And we finally got her on the plane, and right off the bat, she loved it. She's like, first of all, she's petite. She's all like 5 foot, buck 10.
Yep.
And so she steps inside this Challenger, and she's like, holy cow, this is huge. But coming from their previous plane, which was smaller and older, yeah, it is huge.
Yeah. The first time we were here, we did that exact same transition, and that was my response as well.
Yeah.
Out of their old one into their new one, and I'm like, wow. Sitting in the Challenger, you're like, man, this is like a lazy boy. Like, it's huge. And not only that, I'm 6 foot. I've been in Hawkers before, and you're kind of like cramped and hunched over, stepping into a Challenger. I mean, it's huge difference.
But the whole point is, she loved it, and when she got off the plane at our destination, I asked her, I'm like, well, what do you think? And she's like, you know what? I don't feel like I belong in this plane. She's like, I love it so much. And I told her, I was like, this is a small symbol of the hard work that you have done for your success.
Absolutely.
The number of people who can afford this lifestyle is very small.
Correct.
It's not even 1%, and a lot of wealthy individuals get a bad rap, but I can tell you, after spending a lot of time around these, these guys and gals, they work hard for what they've earned. And to me, it's a great example of what I can do and what my kids can learn from, and we can emulate a lot of these similar traits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a lot of our clientele as well. Like, what, in your eyes, what makes a good aircraft broker or jet broker?
Well, to start off, just like you said, you care.
Yeah.
You have to care, which means that you have to get into the details. I've worked with brokers that are very transactional. You know, some who've been doing it for decades are part of larger companies, and they've lost some of the zeal.
Yeah.
You know, that, all right, here we go. This is another potential owner, another seller, another plane, but it's not.
Correct.
You know, and it shouldn't be treated that way. So it's about having a high level perspective, but also being able to drill all the way down and realize, all right, this plane is not going to work because it doesn't have 14 seats. And, you know, or it does, but if you load this up like you normally do, like you travel with your whole family, you're not going to get to the West Coast like you want to. So maybe we need to shift and look at other airplanes, and having those tough conversations, you know, with your clients.
Yeah.
I have seen too many people in this industry who just who don't speak up, and it's very important for a broker to demonstrate that they have this owner's interests in mind.
Absolutely.
And that may mean actually telling a prospective buyer, this may not be the right plane for you.
Yeah.
Or this is, but I think we can find something, let me give you other options instead of just pigeonholing in this one, you know, airframe.
Absolutely. And I think something I've heard some other folks talk about it in the industry as well, but that one experience putting somebody in the wrong airplane could lead to them never buying their own jet ever again. And they'll either charter it forever, however they want to, you know, organize and do their travel, but that could ruin their whole private aviation experience.
And it's a small market.
Yeah.
You know, you spend enough time in this industry, you get to know everybody. And so you'll figure out real quick, you know, the people who are doing it for the right reasons.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Being on the broker side and what makes a good broker, how does a broker fit in with you? And what is the value that a broker brings to a management company like yourself if we were collaborating on a deal?
Yeah, so for me, it's being able to take the time and energy off of my hands of finding those aircraft and or finding the clients, you know, to meet planes that I have owners that are trying to sell their planes.
Correct.
I mean, I could do it, but there's already, you know, there's a lot of other tasks, and having a broker who cares just about taking care of, you know, that transaction each and every single time. Finding somebody who puts just as much time and attention without bogging me down.
Correct.
You know, like I said, I've seen some brokers that they're in it for their cut, but they don't add any value.
Correct.
And I'm just as willing to, you know, cut the line and say, all right, let me do it. I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
Let me do all of it and save, you know, the potential buyer or seller some money.
Yeah, correct.
Because that's another aspect of the management side is we are maybe not legally fiduciaries or responsible financially.
Correct.
But we do take it very seriously that, you know, an operating budget of $1.5 million doesn't mean that we shouldn't worry about $100 going here or $1,000 going there, because I read it once, if you take care of the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves.
I like that. Yep. Anything else you want to add to the, you know, aircraft broker side of the conversation? Anything that maybe, not necessarily that anybody misses, but something that's like the cherry on top for the owner's experience and or your experience?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing, the cherry on top, is really to keep this being as positive of an experience as it is. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for stress.
Correct. Yeah, that's like a home buying process. I mean,
Yeah.
all of the things going under contract, inspections, all of those things come into play.
And there's a lot, unfortunately, what's different between aircraft brokerage and real estate is there aren't the regulations.
No.
You know, so there's a lot of room for scams. You know, for people to come in and not be as forthright or virtuous about the transaction. To me, that's the cherry on top is the trust building.
Love it. Love it. I want to get to know Derrick a little bit better.
All right.
Where did your love for aviation start? I know where mine started. It was Top Gun when I was like 3 years old. So
Yeah.
that's where mine started, but I'll let you start wherever you'd like.
Well, I was a kid, and yeah, it was, you know, a kid of the '80s. So Top Gun was part of it.
Yep.
I had an uncle that was in the Air Force.
Okay.
As young as I can remember, I was always looking up. I was always looking up at the birds, the sky, anything up there, and wanting to be up there. And even after joining the Navy, going through the Naval Academy, I knew that I was going to fly. You know, and I flew in the service shortly.
Yeah.
And then when I got out of the Navy, I took a few years off. You know, didn't quite know what I wanted to do. You know, it was Nicole, my wife, who, I mean, we were dating at the time, and she recognized I was always looking up. Now, I wasn't flying at the time when we first started dating, but she knew that I had this longing, that I missed flying. And there were about 5 years I didn't fly.
Okay.
And I decided to get back into it and basically started from the ground up.
Yeah.
And that's been almost 20 years now. And
Wow.
you know, I'll never step outside of it.
Yeah.
It's an industry that, you know, it has its challenges, but has every bit, you know, it's been worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Do you want to walk us through your, I guess, post-Navy flying career and kind of, you don't have to, you can go as deep as you want,
Yeah.
or stay, you know, as wave tops as you want. I know it started with rotor wing inside the Navy.
yeah, so I flew helicopters in the Navy. When I got out, that's all I saw myself as, was a helicopter pilot.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got back into flying, I started off as a flight instructor, flying helicopters out in Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, as far away from Florida as I could get.
The opposite, complete opposite.
Yeah, and I flew for a couple years. This was 2008, you know, flying what I could fly.
Yeah.
And then I flew tours in the Grand Canyon
Awesome.
in Vegas,
Yeah.
which, you know, was fun, but also kind of mind-numbing.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the same route
it's
over
the
and over
same
again.
route every day, the same altitude, no changes. And then I started flying in the Gulf of Mexico. I flew oil workers out to the rigs.
Awesome.
You know, and we went 200 plus miles offshore. You
That's
know, where the
wild.
water is 3 miles deep.
Yeah. Dark
You know,
blue.
Yeah.
Dark
and so I flew everything from a little R-22 Robinson trainer,
Yep.
all the way up to a large Augusta 189. That's holds 16 passengers.
Awesome. Yeah.
Requires a crew, twin engine, 19,000-pound helicopter. A beast and beautiful, Italian built, you know,
Yeah.
a beauty.
Yeah.
But this was 2018, 2019. I saw buddies jumping ship to go fly airlines.
Yeah.
And enjoying the life
Yeah.
and the better pay.
Yep.
And so I jumped. My timing was horrible. I started ground school in December of 2019.
It's a bad time. Bad time.
Bad timing.
Bad time for that.
Bad timing.
Bad time for that.
And I flew for the airlines for a few years.
Okay.
And then got tired of the actual really knowing what the lifestyle of an airline pilot is really like, especially a low time guy.
Yeah.
And jumped over to flying charter. I flew, so I'm still typed actually in the Cessna Citation XLS, XLS Plus, that whole line. Cessna just came out with their newest generation, the Ascend.
Correct.
And I guess it's been getting a lot of good, good rave reviews.
Not shocking.
No, it's a good plane.
Come to be expected from Cessna.
Flew for a couple years for one of the larger charter companies, and liked the schedule, liked the flying. Also started recognizing that, I'd like to get in, be home more.
Yeah.
I've spent majority, this is one of the downsides to this industry is most pilots spend a majority of their time away from home.
They do.
And I made a commitment to my wife and my kids and knew that it's time for me to be home. And this opportunity with Steve worked out. And, I spend most of my time taking care, like I said, taking care of 7 planes, 12 owners, and being home.
Yeah. And getting to fly every now and again.
And getting to fly a beautiful Challenger 300.
What's your favorite airframe that you've ever flown?
That I've ever flown?
Ever flown. I know there's a few of them in there.
There's a couple. I mean, the Challenger, she's got a sweet spot in my heart.
Yeah.
Just because everything I've said about her is, everybody loves her. The passengers, the owners, the price point, if you use it right, it's the right price point.
Yeah.
And for the comfort level, it's well worth the money.
Agreed.
The other beauty, I've actually never flown, but a EC-135, 145 airframe is, to me, is the same thing as far as helicopters go. That's a Eurocopter, and it's got all the bells and whistles that you would need in a helicopter as well. And at heart, I'm still a helicopter guy. I'm still a rotor guy.
I've got to experience on the military side riding with some PAVHawk guys, and it's a different level of aviation that's unmatched when you're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of an experience. I was very thankful to get to do that. Final question I've got for you: where do you see yourself in this company in the next 5 years?
5 years. Yeah. I see us still operating full charge. There's probably going to be some change of ownership. Yep. Steve's in his mid-60s, and he still loves flying and still wants to fly, but he and I have talked about the future and the potential of an ownership change.
Awesome.
It's something that attracted me to coming here initially, and we'll see where those talks, I don't want to show my cards too early, but we'll see where things go. Beyond that, there's a lot of opportunities in Northeast Florida. There's a lot of opportunities in Central, Florida as well.
Absolutely.
And I have a couple other schemes in mind that I've got some potential interest with.
Awesome.
And you know what? I'm always open to opportunities that will ultimately lead to continuing my service-minded, approach.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason why. Really, that's why I do what I do. I enjoy helping other people enjoy life, and that's what I get out of it, really. And I'm not trying to plug it in.
No, I see it. You can link that to the airlines, though. The airlines just show up, pre-flight the airplane, jump on, fly it, and get off.
Yeah.
Where this, you're helping somebody enhance their quality of life.
Yeah.
And fully execute on that. So,
I got a question for you now. I don't want to wrap it up.
Okay.
Now it's my turn.
Shoot. Go for it.
Where do you see things in 5 years?
Man, I don't know. I feel like the aviation business, I think it's taking off for sure, just in general.
Yeah.
The aviation industry is taking off. I hope to be Yeah.
No, he gets
I don't know.
quiet.
That's a great question. That's a great question. I mean, I want to have more of a presence in it for sure.
Yeah.
And like we talked about it before we started filming, I grew up in a hangar very similar to this with 2 Hawker 800s in it. And I didn't get the opportunity to fly in the Air Force. I went on and did other things. But I always knew there was something that was going to pull me back to aviation.
Yeah.
And I've always had an interest in it. So now I found my spot here.
Yeah.
And I'm here to stay.
There's
Yeah. So back our story. Okay. So Jesse, 2 years ago, pretty much this month actually, 2 years ago this month is when I separated from the Air Force, got into the mortgage industry. One of our buildings is directly across from Jesse's office. And I happened to look out one day and I saw his sign. I had no idea what it actually was. His sign of the 15 up there was the one that caught my eye.
Yeah.
I Googled it, pulled it up. I'm a car guy as well. If you go on the Vet Adventures website, there's 3 phenomenal looking Porsches sitting right there on the webpage. And I said, I've got to meet this guy. So I walked in. Jesse was actually at aircraft broker event in Orlando. I didn't meet him. I met Harry and Zach in the office and saw a skateboard from a guy. Am I good to say who it was? Okay, it's a skateboard from Andy Frisella, who's a guy that I followed for a long period of time. He's the owner of First Form and some other companies. But I was like, okay, these guys are on the same wavelength as me, and it's something I want to go do. The mortgage industry was great. I loved it. It gave me a foundation for some things, but it wasn't what I was passionate about, to be 100% transparent. And the next week, I think I came in and talked to Jesse, and Jesse's like, dude, I love that you love cars. I love that you came in here on your own, but I want to sell airplanes. And I said, well, you know what? I love those too, and here's my backstory. And here we are. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have time? Can we continue?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm down.
you know, just the organic side of it. So,
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah.
Hot seat.
Hot seat.
Hot
yeah.
seat.
Well, I mean,
No, you're good.
you
I
know,
love
and
it.
we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
The smell of Jet A.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a sweetness about it. I'll never get it out of my nose.
Yep.
And the memories that are behind this. This is why I do what I do. I mean, there's been some very tough days.
Yep.
Aviation's an addiction, and like any addiction, it can beat you up just as well as it can, you know, put you up on cloud 9.
Yeah.
But the guys who stick it out, the guys who've been doing this for decades, they do it because they love it.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think that's something that I think that you and I have a connection with, is taking this passion and demonstrating it and transferring it, you know, to the owners.
Yeah.
You know, because these are people that, hey, they might have never even thought of owning a plane, and then one day they're worth millions, and they're like, I can travel this way.
Yeah.
You know, and one of my funniest stories that I have is I have a client, you know, generational wealthy, and this is one of those, you know, he's not in the right jet, and I know he's not in the right jet because there's days that he'll get on an airline instead of taking his plane.
Yeah.
I'm like they don't even relate. You know, get on your plane.
Yeah.
That's why you have it. And you should love this plane. And if you don't love it, let me go find you one that you can love.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not just a piece of machinery, it's a lifestyle. This is something we kind of hit on earlier. It's like, why fly? Why own a plane, right? Well, it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Privacy.
Right.
It's time saving.
100%.
You know, and for some of our clients or some of our owners, they're still doing work, you know, on the plane.
Correct.
You know, if they've got all the technology they need, if they get the Wi-Fi, you know, if they want it, they can work for 4 hours from Jacksonville to San Diego and not miss a beat.
Yep.
Others, they don't want the Wi-Fi because they want that sanctuary of privacy.
Yes. 4 hours of silence.
Yeah, of hey, you know, and one of my clients, that's why he loves it. One, he loves to fly, but two, he loves the fact that he calls it his sanctuary. It's like, And then when he gets wherever he needs to go, it's his mobile boardroom also.
I like that. Okay.
You know, he's held better meetings in his Challenger than he has
In a
in
boardroom.
any office.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a comfort.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'd never thought of it that way. Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's what the business jet brings to these potential businessmen and women.
Absolutely.
Is the opportunity of doing everything they need. A car's not going to do what a plane does.
No.
Maybe some boats, you know, maybe, but it's not a time saver. Not
No,
like this sucker is.
Not at all.
You know, I mean, you're time traveling when you're flying in a business jet. You know, because we go faster than an airline. We go just as far as an airline, and we don't have all the hassles of airlines.
Correct.
Even if you fly first class.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you may save in money, you're going to pay in time and discomfort.
Yep.
And when you have FU money, use it.
Absolutely.
You know, you
Can't take it with you.
Exactly, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
And it's something that it's a tool for, you know, for the owner.
100%.
What's next?
I'm good if you're good.
All right, I appreciate
Dude,
it.
it's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.